America loves guns. Hell, I love guns, but I also hate guns.
Another mass shooting in America.
Another mass shooting.
Yet another mass shooting.
So I was wondering, what if there was a world where people could keep their guns and have no mass shootings? Welcome to Switzerland, a neutral country most known for its cobblestone streets perfect for skipping, its clocks, sophisticated pocket knives, and guns. Turns out peaceful Switzerland is one of the most heavily armed nations in the world. And like America, they love their guns. Yet they have almost zero gun violence. How the f*** is that possible? Luckily, I ran into an expert.
Is that a gun in your pocket, or you just... Oh, no, that's a gun.
Meet Miko. For 20 plus years, he's been a firearms instructor for law enforcement personnel, military, and special forces. He also happens to be one hunk of a man.
So, Thor, tell me about Swiss gun culture.
We respect the guns because we have a mandatory service. Every man that goes to the army, they get a training and a rifle in case of invasion.
Which, to be fair, is a real threat, since the last time Switzerland was invaded was in 1798, before color was invented. So of course they have a militia.
The culture is a little bit different comparing to some other country.
You're familiar that I'm American, right?
Yeah.
You can just say these things to my face. You don't have to say other countries.
I think the gun culture in America is getting out of hand. This is a joke. There should be common sense gun laws.
Common sense. That's not our strength.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah, well, I can say that, but I don't like it when you say that.
Okay.
But what we do have is that good old American gun freedom.
You know how easy it is to get a gun in the U.S.? I just go to Walmart, give him the money, gun.
I know.
My
It's
Uncle
crazy.
Paul, out of his truck, he's got a bunch of guns. My brother Todd has a gun. You want to use it? Boom, borrow it for the weekend. That's nice.
Not really. In Switzerland, you can get a gun from your grandparents or from your father, but you still have to do the paperwork.
Even if I get a gun from my grandpa, I still got to tell the cops about it?
Yeah.
That's crazy, because in most states in America, you can buy a gun almost immediately without any background check. But not in Switzerland.
You apply the permit from the police. You provide clearance of your criminal record that you don't have any convictions. Wait for 2 weeks.
What if it's a small crime? What if you got caught urinating in public? You got caught for sleeping with your cousin because you didn't know it was a cousin because it was at your family reunion and she looked like she worked at catering. What if it's like assaulting a police officer, but really you were just tickling them?
If you can't be responsible of following some other simple rules in society to behave, why should you have a gun?
You don't need to raise your voice over this.
Was there even a payoff to all these rules?
How many school shootings have there been?
None.
What about malls? People shoot?
None.
What about like major holidays? People get shot up at major holidays here?
Nothing.
Come on, with all those guns, they had to have at least one mass shooting somewhere. After weeks of research, I discovered there was, in fact, one mass shooting in the Swiss parliament in 2001. But they haven't had one since? C'est incroyable.
You had a mass shooting 17 years ago. We have one every 17 minutes.
Il y a eu des changements. Par exemple, les munitions sont plus emportées avec les armes.
This is something that I'm having a hard time comprehending. You learned from a mistake and you made an improvement in the law. That's so Europe.
And while Switzerland's last mass shooting was in 2001, America has had, no, keep going, no, more, yeah, there you go, over 1,900 mass shootings since 2012, averaging to about one a day. Which is why Miko felt I needed to be properly trained before I headed back to the States.
We have to talk about safety first.
Can I like with this one?
Yeah, just leave it alone. Don't touch it.
How are we going to shoot it if I can't touch it?
Let me explain you the rules first. So, number one thing that you have to remember is that you always treat the guns as if they're loaded, because probably most of the accidents that happens with empty guns.
All right, so this one here,
Don't touch it. Don't touch it. I think you don't pay enough, attention to what I'm saying.
Okay. I'm listening.
So you just have to follow 4 simple rules. Number 1, you treat the guns always as if they're loaded. Number 2, you never point anything that you're not supposed to. Number 4, I got a feeling that you're not paying attention enough.
What? No, I am. Let's do it. Let's blow some shit up. Miko, when you load these things, you ever get a little bit of a erection?
do exactly what I say, okay?
Okay.
All right, pay attention.
Pay attention.
Okay, and slowly press back until the gun goes off.
Jesus! This scares the shit out of me. I'm glad we had that safety instruction.
This is the dream. Shooting guns without the fear of getting shot? This is where America should be. All we need to do is keep ammo separate and have universal criminal and mental background checks. Have extremely strict open carry laws, justification for ownership, send written requests to authorities, and basically just change our entire gun culture. We can do that, right?
It's not really that fun when you keep shitting yourself.
You get used to it.
No, this isn't a green screen. This is real, disgusting Switzerland, a neutral country full of non-combative, chocolate-eating yodelers.
And they're also full of guns. In my previous report, I trained with firearms expert Miko.
Miko, look, I shot some holes in the Swiss cheese.
I learned that when it comes to gun culture, Switzerland has a few more regulations than America. And thanks to these gun regulations and strict ammunition control, Switzerland has a murder rate of nearly 0. Sure, that's a great statistic, but how safe can it really be? To learn more about their gun culture, I attended the world's largest annual shooting festival right here, and holy that's a lot of guns. Even that baby has a gun. There's not enough training in the world to prepare me for this, so I brought my 2 secret weapons, my translator, Pierre, and my super manly, rock-hard American vest.
Why are you wearing a pussy vest?
What did he say, Pierre?
Pussy vest.
Ah, that's funny. Pussy
Okay.
vest. Why aren't you wearing a pussy vest? People are walking around with guns.
Because it's safe.
Oh my God, what is that? What is that? Hold.
Oh my
Get it. Get it.
They're shooting, no worries.
They're shooting.
They're shooting over there, not here.
How many accidents have happened here?
9.
9 accidents.
No.
9 accidents?
No. 0 accidents.
0.
0. 0.
I thought you said 9.
9.
Okay.
It's a German language.
It's a German language.
I know in the United American this is dangerous, but in the Switzerland we have tradition,
Tradition.
we have rules, and this we haven't rules.
Rules? What kind of rules let little kids participate in this Glocktoberfest?
You love shooting.
Oh yes.
Why?
Ça me détend. On prend le temps, on respire.
So it's like yoga.
Yes.
They also throw booze into the mix because pourquoi pas?
It's a national party.
Oh, here comes the beer, everybody. Let's let the beer walk through. We've got
I do an
rifles
interview
and
with
then
you.
beers.
We come in here with the peoples, with the friends, and la 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 la, the beer, la la
La la la la beer.
We make the
Yep.
and it's finished.
Well said. Guns and beers. This was an American wet dream. But something was different in this country.
We respect arms, and if we respect it, it's not the problem.
Why should I listen to this drunk Swiss roll?
I was president for 5 years.
You're telling me I'm having beer with the former president of Switzerland.
Yes.
Cheers.
Nowhere else could a former president be surrounded by thousands of firearms with no security. How could we get America to feel this safe?
That's your problem.
That's my problem.
Well, that's as neutral as it gets. But he's right, it is our problem. I mean, here they can shoot guns, drink beer, and no one gets hurt. In America, something like this could never happen. I decided to embrace this culture and hang with the only group that would let me in.
Wow. Yeah, you guys got AR-15s here, huh?
Meet the Shooting Society of Prez. It was time to show these Swiss fondues how Americans shoot guns.
I missed?
You missed, yeah?
How did I miss?
Alors vous avez besoin de beaucoup d'entraînement.
What?
Vous êtes vraiment très nul.
What do you know? You're 10 years old.
Mon petit frère, il pourrait faire mieux.
You probably never even kissed a girl. You ever take your gun to school?
No.
No?
We don't are American.
You're not American.
No.
Okay, well, I can say that, but he can't.
Swiss kids, huh?
Even if it is true, because the fact is, for Swiss kids, life with guns is very different.
Nothing happens. It's not like in the US where you have those mass shootings.
So your son, when he goes to school, he just has to worry about school.
Yeah, catching the bus on time.
Unlike America, Switzerland has found a way to peacefully coexist with firearms.
Shots! Oh, shit! Whoa!
And one of the main reasons is that while these gun owners may be loaded, it's actually illegal for their guns to be loaded when not in use.
We got beer, we got guns, we got food. I feel like I'm growing another testicle down here, you know what I mean?
So America, if we're gonna insist on being a nation of gun nuts, we could at least try and Swiss things up.
Right now, I'm standing on top of Lake Erie. Well, I'm actually on a boat that's on, you know how that works. Recently, the residents of Toledo, Ohio, voted to make Lake Erie a person. What does that even mean? All right, can we go back? I think I'm gonna puke.
Local activist Marky Miller is one of the human people responsible for getting the Lake Erie Personhood initiative passed.
Our premise was to change the notion that nature is merely property, and that if you own the permit, that you get to destroy it, to harm it. So by giving Lake Erie its own set of rights, we have a better way of enforcing protections.
How far can this go? A lake is a person? What's next? Is a swimming pool a person? Is a dog a person? Is a child a person? Do you see how slippery this slope is?
Well, much like, a child, we often have someone else speak on their behalf. And I think that tends to be our relationship with Lake Erie, that we become trustees of this lake.
You can be honest here. I'm from Michigan. Anyone that's been down here knows the people here, they kind of march to their own drummer.
Sure.
Is this a sex thing?
Definitely not at all.
So making a lake into a person is clearly a weird sex thing, but Marky and her fellow conservationists have even more selfish motivations.
The toxic water situation in Ohio that prompted the governor to declare a state of emergency.
Lake Erie, a major source of drinking water, serves 400,000 people.
We lost access to our drinking water for 3 days. It impacted 500,000 people. They couldn't bathe, they couldn't touch the water, you couldn't do your laundry, wash your dishes. Water became a really scarce commodity. It wasn't available.
Oh, God damn, that's good.
We realized how vulnerable we were and how precious the resource was, that it could be taken away just like that.
It is something that we enjoy, isn't it, as humans?
Yeah.
Mind if I just...
But is turning your lake into a person really the best way to protect it? Apparently so, according to the Community Environmental Legal Defense Fund, which has successfully turned nature into persons in places as exotic as Ecuador, New Zealand, and Pennsylvania.
Well, we describe it more as the right to live, to flourish, exist, be healthy. But yeah, in our legal world, we use personhood rights.
I mean, what is a person, Tish? Is this lake a person?
It's living.
It's living, okay.
Yes, let's go that way.
What about that river?
Yeah, it's living, and there's life all around it and in it, and it's living.
Is this a person? Oh my God, Jesus, sorry. Why was that there? Why was that in there? What do you say to your critics that say, this is absolutely batshit crazy?
I don't find this crazy at all, because corporations have had personhood rights, so they're not even a living entity, and yet nature that we depend on is not considered having the same rights that we do or that corporations do.
And there's tons of opposition to giving Lake Erie the rights of a person, from farms, the state government, fishermen with IBS, basically anyone else trying to get rid of their toxic dumps.
We found out that BP was basically the sole funder of the campaign against the Lake Erie Bill of Rights. They spent BP, yep.
Black people. You know, I always knew. Is that
British Petroleum?
British Petroleum. Can we cut that? Can we put that part out? British Petroleum.
They do have a refinery not far out from Toledo, but I think that it was more about, not wanting this idea of rights of nature to take off. But, we do live here, and we're not going to sit back and be poisoned.
Marky, I have to admit, when I came here, I thought it was bullshit, Marky. I kind of thought you were this crazy woman who decided to make Lake Erie a person. But here you are on the battlegrounds every day, fighting against big agriculture, fighting against the state of Ohio, fighting for this beautiful body of water. The real hero here, yeah, you a little bit, but even more so than that, I'm the one who's showcasing you. So if anything, I'm the hero. And that's why I love this story.
So maybe a person can make a difference. And maybe a lake can become a person. And maybe you can even get married to the handsome, sensitive correspondent who saved it.
I do.
Because true love is pure. It is deep. It is clear. It's perfect, and it tastes sweet.
Why didn't you tell me? There's something wrong with this water.
Meet the alt-right.
White lives matter! White lives matter!
A loosely connected group of right-wing white nationalists, known for chanting confusing conspiracy theories like all while dressed like kids whose divorced dads made their Halloween costumes. And these World War II reenactment rejects have one other thing in common. They are angry.
But what do they have to be so angry about? I'm a white guy, things are great. Cops don't pull me over, I pull them over to ask for a bottle opener. Thanks, officer. No, you have a great day.
There's no logical reason why the alt-right should be so angry. They're kind of winning. But what if there was a deeper reason for their frustration?
Across the alt-right movement, leaders are telling young men not to masturbate.
Wait. What?
Clinical psychologist Dr. David Lay has a theory about why these young men are so angry. They're not strangling their pepes.
They know how to masturbate. They're not going side to side, right? They know it's up and down.
I don't think this is a technique issue. They are actually trying not to masturbate.
Used to take me hours. Now it's like,
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I
right.
mean?
Well, I have one hand, so,
Right.
you know, it gets lots of practice.
This guy masturbates. Dr. Lay explained that the main proponents of this no wank philosophy were the Proud Boys.
Masturbation is lack of impulse control.
The Proud Boys believe that not masturbating increases their testosterone and makes them more desirable to women, which brings up one question.
Is it working for the Proud Boys?
Research actually finds that less masturbation reduces testosterone.
So there's evidence that masturbating makes you a more masculine man.
A lot of really good things happen in your body and your brain. But also research is finding that people who watch more pornography, they are more feminist, and interestingly, they develop more egalitarian values over time.
You're right. I watch a lot of gangbangs, and one day I thought, oh my God, women have it so hard. This isn't fair. 95 guys and one girl? We need some better representation here.
And the Proud Boys are just the tip. There are stroke shamers all over the alt-right.
So Canadian psychologist Dr. Jordan Peterson, he's leader in the alt-right movement in Canada. And he tells young men there's nothing noble about masturbating to pornography.
That's terrible. I mean, what else are they going to do up there in between periods of hockey?
That's noble, that's healthy.
Exactly, that's healthy.
David Duke, who is a former Grand Wizard of the KKK, he believes that pornography is a Jewish conspiracy to get young white men to masturbate instead of procreating, and so the white race dies out.
What is it about the Jews with these guys? And speaking of which, this far-right moratorium on salami wrestling has been going on longer than you think.
The Nazis taught young men not to masturbate. Nazis used sexual suppression as a way to increase malleability in people. If we can get people to give up masturbation, we can get them to do anything.
First they came for our fleshlights, and I said nothing.
So it's not just the insidious beliefs, mob violence, and haircuts. The alt-right jacked this off the Nazis too?
They're teaching these kids to hate themselves, to be ashamed of themselves, and then they can exploit them.
Wow.
They go down this rabbit hole of these extreme, dangerous beliefs and become radicalized.
So what you're saying is masturbation can save lives.
Definitely.
You know what? Let's do it right now. Let's show them all. Let's go. I love talking to you, man. Come on. Take out your dick! We can't show you the rest of that interview, but I will say, when I think about these young people being manipulated into joining hate groups, it makes me very angry and frustrated and excuse me for 1 second. Anyway, if you or anyone you know seems to be getting drawn into the alt-right, before buying that tiki torch, try lighting the one inside your khakis first. I'm Michael Kosta, telling all you young angry men to stop hating and start baiting. Hi, I'm Michael Kosta. And before I started covering the news on cable TV, I was a successful professional athlete. What sport? Tennis. Duh. I was ranked 864 in the world, so I was a natural to investigate the newest sport sweeping the nation. Video games.
Competitive video gaming, known as esports, is booming.
There's even a training center with 5 training rooms and 6 locker rooms.
The Olympics are considering adding esports.
I went to California to a so-called training center in someone's garage to talk with these athletes about why video games isn't a sport.
What the hell is this?
This was the Alienware training facility for Esports Team Liquid, complete with scrimmage stations, a war room, PR department, a team coach, and even an in-house chef. The team's star, whose name is Taco, was acquired from Brazil's top team.
This is a real sport.
You call yourself an athlete?
Yes, of course. We compete, we go to tournaments, we travel a lot, we got some money.
What does an e-sport athlete, Mr. Taco, do every day?
Just practice.
Yeah. I'm a former professional tennis player. That's what I would call like a real sport. There is an opponent, and you would relish the opportunity to defeat them with your racket. What do you actually have to show for what you're doing?
Yeah, but come on, I have a really strong finger.
A finger?
Yes, this finger I've already killed at least 1 million people.
That finger's killed 1 million people?
At least.
Taco is referring to his kills in Counter-Strike, a game where guys shoot other guys before a bomb goes off, apparently. How is this a sport? I won the Ann Arbor Junior Open at 11 years old. How hard could it be to pound on these dorks?
What are you staring at, huh? I'm gonna whoop your ass next.
To the left, to the left.
To the left? You think it's, oh, Jesus Christ. Well, I shot him 4 times, he shoots me once, and I die?
These games were clearly rigged against more muscular athletes.
Oh, Jesus. How do I keep dying, Taco?
But who's paying for these cucks to sit around all day and mash buttons? Apparently guys like 3-time NBA champion Rick Fox, owner of esports franchise Echo Fox.
What are you doing with these nerds, man? You're a real athlete.
And so are they.
What the shit are you talking about? Me and you, we played real sports. You know, you could see our balls in our pants when we played.
Were you an athlete?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I played professional tennis. I was ranked 864 in the world.
Oh, okay. You win a couple tournaments?
No, I didn't win the tournaments, but
How much money did you make in your career?
I made $11,000 about. But there's a whole system, and I was right in there playing as a pro athlete.
Oh, okay. In our era, I think there was no shame around pursuing a career in professional sports because you could get a scholarship to college, which, by the way, you can get as an esport player now. There's a number of colleges that are building esports arenas on their campuses.
This is all great, but let's get down to brass tacks here. How much do these athletes make?
Probably the best top laner in the world in one of our games. He makes probably $800,000.
What? And while players like Taco made over $800K last year, other top gamers earned upwards of $4 million. And thanks to advertising and sponsorships, revenues will top $1.4 billion this year.
$1.4 billion? Are you kidding me?
But what really makes it legit is Vegas sportsbooks take bets on it. So I did what anyone would do, sold my dog for $3,000 and put it all on Team Liquid at the Barclays Center. I'll buy him back after I win.
Amsterdam, London, Cologne, Montreal. I don't give a shit. You're in Brooklyn now, baby. This is the Barclays Center. This is where champions play, and the Brooklyn Nets. We're gonna heal as a team, or we're gonna die as individuals. Did I make myself clear?
Yeah.
Come on!
All right, ignore all that, and then we just follow the game plan. Let's go, guys.
It was time for Team Liquid to win in the semifinals and make me some money.
Team Liquid!
Let's go, baby. Let's
Let's go! It definitely felt like a real sport. These gaming gladiators were ready for battle.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for, Team Liquid versus Gambit.
Click your mouse! They flexed their fingers. They clicked their buttons. They adjusted their headsets.
Come on! Liquid! Knockout! Liquid! Knockout! Hey, let's start the wave! Starting over here! Woo!
Watch the stairs. Watch the... Oh! They fought to outmaneuver, evade, and shoot their opponents' heads off. And just when it looked like Team Liquid was on the ropes, they rallied.
Your next grand finalist is Team Liquid! That's what I'm talking about! That's what I'm talking about, baby! Woo! #1! Team Liquid!
Are video games a sport? Who cares? I'm rich. Time to try to buy my dog back. As America debates whether we should enter another lockdown, there's still one maskless utopia where patriots can shop where they want, catch fireworks with the president, and even attend the largest gathering of people who wear leather in August. That's right, South Dakota.
We took a unique path. We haven't locked people up. We didn't order a statewide shelter in place. More freedom, not more government, is the answer.
But some locals aren't happy with the governor's lack of rules and are taking things into their own latex-covered hands.
The Cheyenne River Sioux tribe has set up 9 checkpoints along major roads and highways that lead into the reservation to protect people from COVID-19. But the idea has sparked some disagreements.
Yes, the governor wants the checkpoints removed, and she's using her power as the state's top Karen to get it done. But that's not sitting well with Chairman Harold Frazier.
Chairman, you're still staying closed. Is that because you hate freedom?
No, we don't hate freedom. We got to protect our people, and that's something that we value more than anything is our human life.
Is my life worth living if I can't get the twice baked potato from Applebee's?
Well, naturally, safety is the most important thing. Right now, these checkpoints is one of our best weapons we have to try to control this virus.
I've heard enough. Time to hit the road and see these checkpoints for myself.
I'm calling up to the checkpoint. Let's say I'm a trucker.
Where are you going to?
I'm going to Boise. I got 30 cattle in the back.
Have you ever been exposed to COVID-19?
Nope.
Thank you. You have a safe trip. Have a good day.
Wait, that's it?
Yeah. We've always allowed commercial travel to come through.
Seems like it's pretty simple, frankly.
Motorists could probably be at a checkpoint no more than a minute to a minute and a half.
I'm going to give you a tougher one, okay? Going to Disneyland. Got the kids with me. What's the stopping for?
Okay, where are you from?
We're from Florida, ironically.
Okay, you are going to Disneyland, coming from Florida.
Yep.
Okay, well, sorry to inform you, but you're going to have to turn around.
Why is that, sir?
You are coming from a hotspot, and you are unable to travel through a reservation.
Did I say Florida? I meant to say Costa Rica. Hang on, I'm going to gun it.
Okay, what is your name, sir?
Bill.
You got a last name?
Yeah, of Rights. Ever heard of it? Bill of Rights. Why am I being stopped here?
We have a checkpoint and a huge concern of COVID-19.
Corona-19.
Right now, we have a program to do tracing. And
I didn't follow the program in my grandma's nursing home, so I'm sure as shit not going to follow your program, old man. Rest in peace, Mima.
Well, Mr. Wrights, sorry to inform you, you're going to have to reroute your destination. You're being uncooperative, so thank you and have a good day.
With just 19 active cases on the reservation, the checkpoints seem to be working, but bootleg Sarah Palin said they have to come down, or she'll take them to court. But the tribe's lawyer says that the Sioux don't have to do shit.
When Governor Noem told us to shut down the checkpoints, she had no legal leg to stand on, and so we refused. When we refused, she told on us to the White House. They threatened to take our checkpoints down. There were numerous people at every level of the federal government that had their fingers in this. So we sued all of those people.
You sued them.
That's right.
You sued the federal government.
Yes.
It's like you guys got in a little fight at the schoolyard, and then she went home and called her dad.
Yes.
And then you sued her dad.
That's right.
Threats from the federal government haven't been enough to deter the Sioux. That's because they're protected by a concept known as tribal sovereignty.
Sovereignty is our inherent power to govern ourselves as tribal people.
When I enter a reservation, I'm not a member of a tribe. Do I have to follow tribal law or federal government law?
There is unfortunately a confusing array of which laws apply on Indian reservations.
Can I have breakfast for dinner?
Can you have breakfast for dinner? I'm going to say yes, I will allow it.
Can I practice medicine without a license?
You may not.
Can I wear socks with sandals?
You probably better not.
There seems to be a little ambiguity on these tough questions.
There are some restrictions and limits. And, what's very interesting to note is that, we started out with the full range of sovereign authority. And over the years, we've lost much of our land. Our culture has been harmed. But this fight that we're having against the United States in this checkpoint issue, we're on the offense.
Nikki, it's tough to fight the federal government. Unlimited resources, unlimited lawyers. Do you really think you're going to win?
Yes, I do think we're going to win. The federal government doesn't want to fuck with us because they're afraid of Indians. And they should be.
I learned a lot on this journey. First of all, don't fuck with Indians. Can I say that? And two, if keeping your people safe is un-American, then maybe we should all try to be a little more un-American. And lastly, if...
Hey, where are you from?
Damn it, Harold! Welcome to the presidential race that will not end. 2020's already been a torturous marathon of an election cycle, so what's one more week? Plus, I'm keeping a close eye on my stress levels. New York Times has their Needle from Hell, 538 has that sexy cross-eyed cartoon fox, so I thought I would make my own Descent into Madness meter. That way I can let you know how stressed out you should be. Right now, we can sit back and rest assured the states will count every ballot in a timely fashion, which is why right now I'm in the Zen zone.
The presidential race still undecided. Millions of votes still being counted.
Okay, well, I'm sure that's not a big deal, but just to put my mind at ease, let's talk to an expert in chaos theory. Close, but more like this. Meet Ned Foley, an expert in U.S. electoral chaos.
From a potential disaster standpoint, what happens if we don't know the results of this election?
We're fine for a couple of weeks. We don't really have to worry again until we get to December, Monday, December 14. So that's actually the real presidential election. That's when the Electoral College meets. There's a provision of federal law. It's Title III of the U.S. Code, Section 7. It talks about the meeting of the Electoral College being the first Monday after the second Wednesday in December.
I thought it was the fourth Thursday in November.
Isn't that Thanksgiving?
Well, then when's my anniversary?
You tell me.
Okay, it's December 14th, and not all the votes have been counted. What happens?
Well, that would be bad. That would be very bad.
Ooh.
Ned tells me that if the vote count is not complete by December 14th, which I marked on my calendar, the states get to ignore the popular vote and send their own electors. This is an actual law?
That would authorize, or at least give a state legislature grounds for stepping in and say, well, we're going to step in and just appoint electors ourselves.
I'm just going to take some notes on a whiteboard to make it simpler for myself. Is that okay?
Sure. Both the Senate and the House.
It turns out there are a lot of nightmare scenarios if a clear winner doesn't emerge.
Who do you think it benefits, Trump or Biden, if this delayed situation continues and we don't know an answer by December 14th?
Depending upon who is looking like they're going to win the popular vote, it becomes strategically advantage to the other candidate to try to mess up the system. It becomes advantageous for Team Trump to try to derail the popular vote.
And how does Trump derail the popular vote? Well, it's the lawsuits that you're seeing now. all kinds of lawsuits.
Pennsylvania has become the center of multiple 2020 election lawsuits.
The 2020 vote has already seen more lawsuits filed than any other race.
With Trump's top lawyers, like this guy.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
Which definitely could lead to panicking.
One of the reasons why you might feel panicky is because that's what Donald Trump wants you to feel. Because he knows that if all legal eligible votes are counted here in Pennsylvania, he's quite likely going to lose.
Meet the man currently fighting Trump's lawyers in Pennsylvania, where this election may actually be decided. Attorney General Josh Shapiro, AG Shaps.
Election day is over. It's still too close to call. On a level of oh shit to holy f***ing shit, how stressed about this election should I be?
You shouldn't be stressed at all. You voted, you did your part. Now let us count the votes and deal with what may come. My team and I have been preparing for this election for more than 4 months. We knew we'd be facing litigation before the election.
Do you get a notification on your phone every time someone sues Pennsylvania? Is it like how I get a text message?
Oh, I get notifications, I get texts, and I get staff calling. Here's the thing about these lawsuits, right? Donald Trump, puts out some crazy tweets and he says some outrageous things. But in a court of law, we don't deal in tweets and crazy statements. We deal with facts and evidence.
You're a composed guy. You're calm. You got the answers. That's probably how you became Attorney General.
Right.
But when do you think the legal dust will finally settle for the 2020 election?
I think you'll have a certified count here as required by law within the next 10 days or so. And we'll move forward with the process and begin to try and heal this country.
All right, AG Shaps is handling it. There's a process for this, a system in place mapped out by the Constitution. It's not madness scribbled on a whiteboard, so everything's going to be just fine. Okay, nervous Ned?
January 20th is, to my mind, the ultimate nightmare. That's what worries me the most. What if we get to January 20th and there's still competition and still uncertainty, and the generals in the Pentagon don't know who gets the nuclear codes?
You may not know the answer to this, but what does the Constitution say about transferring nuclear codes?
It doesn't say anything because it was written before the nuclear age.
Ned, thank you. I feel a lot more at ease. It's clear what's going to happen in the next 2 months, and my anxiety is already lowered. So thanks a lot. Jesus Christ, we're all going to die.
So the one tiny detail that isn't worked out is the nukes. Well, at least we can stop tracking stress levels.